Attention passionate Green Bay Packers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Green Bay Packers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Green Bay Packers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Green Bay Packers fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. Let's sit down and talk about a potential blockbuster trade that's been buzzing around the NFL circles lately, especially among Packers fans and analysts who are always looking for ways the team can elevate its roster. It's about Denzel Ward, the shutdown corner from the Cleveland Browns, possibly heading to Green Bay. Yeah, you heard that right. Insiders and NFL insiders have been dropping hints, and the rumors are heating up with some suggesting that the Packers are in serious discussions to acquire Ward in a trade that could shake up the NFC North and drastically boost Green Bay's secondary. So what's all this about? Well, it's no secret that the Packers have been looking to bolster their defense, especially their secondary, after a somewhat inconsistent 2023 campaign. Green Bay's pass defense, while solid at times, still left some gaps that teams could exploit, especially in the deep passing game. Jaire Alexander is a star, no doubt, but having a true shutdown corner like Ward could elevate the entire unit, making life much harder for opposing quarterbacks and elite wide receivers. And let's be honest, with the Packers' offense looking as dynamic as ever under Jordan Love, having a defense that can shut down the other team's best receiver is essential if they want to contend for a deep playoff run and, of course, a Super Bowl. Now, why would Cleveland, a team that's currently 0-2 and clearly in a bit of a rebuild, consider trading away a player like Denzel Ward? Well, the Browns are facing some financial constraints this season, with around $19 million in cap space and a quarterback, Deshaun Watson, who's been struggling to find his rhythm, completing just 57% of his passes. Cleveland's front office is also in rebuild mode, needing to address their offensive line issues, which have been a problem. PFF grades show a leaky protection unit with a rating of just 55.6. They're also looking for draft picks to help reshape their roster and make a serious push for stability and growth. And here's where it gets interesting for the Packers. The rumors suggest that Green Bay might be willing to part with their 2026 first-round pick and a second-rounder in 2027 in exchange for Ward. That's a significant investment, but one that could pay off big time. Ward, who was drafted in 2018, has been a game-changer in the secondary, accumulating 18 interceptions and 62 pass deflections so far in his career. His PFF coverage grade hovers around an impressive 89.6, and he allows just 50% of targets to be completed against him, a stat that speaks volumes about his ability to shut down top receivers. What makes Ward so valuable is his incredible speed, clocked at a blazing 4.32 in the 40-yard dash, and his long, rangy frame that many compare to Patrick Peterson. This combination allows him to shadow the opponent's best receiver effectively, limiting their yards after the catch, and making him a true game wrecker on the outside. In 2024, he's been healthy, with no injuries after a concussion that limited his playtime last season. And his stats continue to shine. 2 interceptions, 4 pass deflections, and a 45% target completion rate through September 15th. His ability to reduce yards after catch by 22% and his success rate in shadow coverage, 86%, are game-changing stats that could elevate Green Bay's pass defense from a middle-of-the-pack unit to one of the league's best. Think about it. Adding Ward would instantly make the Packers' secondary a versatile, almost impenetrable force. Opposing quarterbacks would have a much harder time throwing into coverage, especially when Ward can lock down the opponent's top receiver and force the ball out of their hands quickly. And let's not forget, his ball skills are exceptional, around a 60% interception rate, meaning he's constantly turning coverage opportunities into turnovers. That's the kind of playmaking ability that can swing the momentum of games, especially in close contests. If the Packers manage to pull this off, their defense could rise from the 16-pass defense to a top 5 unit in the league, creating a more balanced team with a potent offense and an improved, disruptive defense. Now, what does this mean for the Packers' Super Bowl ambitions? Well, the odds could see a significant shift. Currently, the Packers are viewed as underdogs with +5.0 odds to win the Super Bowl, but with Ward bolstering their secondary, Those odds could jump to around +200, making them one of the more formidable contenders. His presence could act as a true X-factor in the playoffs, neutralizing elite wide receivers like Stephon Diggs and other top-tier targets, turning the Packers into a nightmare matchup for any offense. Imagine a defense where Ward shadows the opponent's best receiver, limiting big plays, and Jair Alexander and the rest of the secondary thrive with more freedom to make plays on the ball. This kind of upgrade could be reminiscent of the days when Charles Woodson was in Green Bay, leading the secondary and inspiring the entire defense to new heights. It would send a message across the league that Green Bay is serious about contending, not just for the division, but for the whole championship. And it's not just about adding a star. Ward's presence would also boost the confidence and chemistry of the entire defensive unit, making them more adaptable and aggressive in their coverage schemes. Now, of course, there are caveats. Cleveland isn't just going to give away Ward without a fight, and the Packers will have to weigh the financial implications and draft capital involved. But if they can pull it off, this move could be a turning point for the franchise. The defense, especially the secondary, would be transformed into a true strength, one that can make a difference in tight playoff games. It's a move that echoes the kind of bold, strategic thinking that can put a team over the top, and Packers fans should be excited about the possibility of adding a player of Ward's caliber. Looking at the broader picture, a secondary featuring Ward and Alexander would force offenses to rethink their game plans. It would give the Packers a chance to create more turnovers, set up better field position, and ultimately, give Jordan Love more opportunities to lead scoring drives. This kind of defensive upgrade could also lead to more creative blitz packages and more aggressive coverage schemes, turning the Green Bay defense into a real defensive beast. The impact on the team's overall performance would be enormous, possibly pushing them from a playoff contender to a legit Super Bowl favorite. Now you might be wondering about the implications for the rest of the NFC North. A move like this could send shockwaves through the division. The Detroit Lions and Minnesota Vikings have been building solid teams, but if the Packers can add Ward to the fold, it could tip the scales in their favor for years to come. The NFC North is already one of the most competitive divisions, and strengthening their secondary with a player like Ward could make Green Bay a perennial powerhouse once again. Moreover, the storylines would be incredible. Imagine Ward lining up against elite receivers in the playoffs, shutting them down and making key plays down the stretch. The Packers' defense, already improving under coordinator Joe Barry, would become a true nightmare for any opposing offense. The fans, of course, would love seeing that kind of dominance, knowing that their team is investing in a future that's bright and full of potential. And let's not forget, this isn't just speculation. The NFL trade market is always unpredictable, but when insiders whisper about a near agreement and a possible deal, it's worth paying attention. The Packers have the draft capital, the cap space, and the motivation to make a bold move. It could be the kind of move that defines the franchise's trajectory for the next decade, much like the moves that brought in Charles Woodson or Clay Matthews back in the day. So Green Bay fans, keep your eyes peeled. This could be the start of something big, a defensive upgrade that takes the Packers from good to great. The division, the playoffs, and the Super Bowl aspirations could all be affected by this potential trade. It's a story worth watching, and I'll be here to break down every detail as it develops. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Green Bay Packers news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now Green Bay Packers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on the possibility of Denzel Ward joining the Packers? Do you think this would be the move to push them over the top? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the team. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Green Bay Packers news. Whatever happens, one thing is for sure. This season is shaping up to be one of the most exciting in recent memory, and the potential addition of Ward could make it even more special. So buckle up, folks, because the NFL offseason is always full of surprises, and the Packers are right in the middle of one of the most intriguing stories of the year.